Greetings, heroes and Force users of all ages, and welcome back to Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. Did you notice how fluidly I said those words after so long? And as always,
That wasn't pointed at anyone at all.
as always, it really wasn't actually, but now I understand what you mean.
Okay.
I'm Dino DeCandros, and I'm joined by my very good friends, Alyssa Simmons
Hi.
and Daniel Dawson.
I hardly remember who you are.
And today we are going to be talking about an event that I did not attend, but I will be introducing.
Good.
Comic-Con 2024, in particular, the Marvel Studios panel that happened at said Comic-Con. Alyssa and Daniel will regale you with tales of almost being in the room where it happens.
How depressing.
And everything that came of this panel, and there is quite a bit to talk about after what had seemingly been quite a lull in the news cycle as far as Marvel is concerned, so we're excited to talk about that. And we're glad, once again, that you are here with all of us. And by God, we're Marvel fans.
I don't know who you are or where you came from.
I am Iron Man.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Smells like a new car in here.
Inside the Tauntaun, this is our opening song. Alyssa, Daniel, Dino, talking nerd stuff, come along. Inside the Tauntaun podcast, please like and subscribe.
Oh, what an intro, Dino. What an
Back in
intro.
He's
business,
back.
baby.
He's back. It's like he never left.
Oh,
Wow.
Thank God. Our anchor, our sail.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Person
you
who always
actually,
remembers all the names of the people that we can't remember the names
Yeah.
of.
But I will note,
Mostly that.
in the, 2 or 3 episodes I have been away, our social media numbers were excellent.
Oh,
Really?
so
I
is
don't know
it
if you
because-
noticed the
Are
Instagram.
you the reason that we've not been doing well?
I am the straight peg in the gay hole.
Oh.
No, you've just been using all of your different accounts and going in and like
Right.
You have
Liking
like
and
40
sharing
accounts, right?
No,
Oh
it
my
is. It's
gosh.
wonderful to be back, and it's wonderful to have everyone here.
Same.
Yeah.
I missed you.
Gang's all here.
The gang
Gang's
is
all here, and we're talking almost 2-week-old news, but I do
Yeah.
think it is it is relevant considering how little we've had to talk about on this front for a good
It's
long
true.
while, other than
Yeah.
just your normal run-of-the-mill speculating.
right.
Mhm.
But
Well,
first
we've
of all,
barely
how was-
talked to each other about it. Like,
no,
you know,
we
No.
haven't.
yeah.
First of all, how was Comic-Con? Just generally speaking, does it? I guess the first leadoff question would be: does it feel like we are finally past the pandemic in terms of size and scope?
Oh, yeah, there were so many people there.
Wow.
I mean, for me, it's hard to say because I mean, I've whether it's fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't get to really see it pre-pandemic times.
Yeah,
so I
we
feel-
never
True,
attended
true.
Comic-Con
Yeah, none of us
prior
did.
to
No.
Yeah.
So this is I guess I don't know what I'm missing, if I am missing anything. That being said, so last year, if y'all remember, was the year of the it's just like we can't ever have any normal things.
yeah, our first year we went was the special edition, which was
Right.
like
Oh, right.
half
right,
capacity
Right.
and
And it was like Thanksgiving weekend, I think, or something, right?
yeah, it
Yep.
was like a weird it was like in the
That's
fall.
exactly right.
It was so
And
random. But we're like, wow, look at this. This is so neat. And there was like nobody there, which was so nice. It was like, oh my God. Everybody complains about the crowds. We can do cartwheels down the But
yeah, that was nice.
it was nice. I mean, there wasn't much to see, but it felt very, you know, down to the basics, like comic stuff and art stuff
Mhm.
and diddity dip. Just a lot of mask wearing. But
Yes.
But then our next year was like everybody was obviously overcompensating and they
Mhm.
went super hard.
Yeah.
And we had like stuff. It was overflowing. And like we had
Yeah, it
things
was
that were
all of
literally
those
happening in the
massive
streets.
announcements, the brand new Marvel timeline, the brand new Star Wars timeline, like literally just an influx of announced projects, which
Yeah.
now are kind of Not really a lot. I mean, a lot of them are not
Right.
happening. So
Yeah, I know, which is kind of wild. But yeah, I remember like some really cool. I think they were announcing the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, and they had a thing about Severance that were like their own little like walkthrough cool experience that you got like free shit from. This year, then the next year, which was last year, was the year of the strike.
writer
So
strike and
zero people
actor strike.
were
So
there. Well, that's not true. I mean, zero. You know, there wasn't a lot of the at least
the Hollywood side of Comic-Con was not
Hollywood
present.
was absent. Yes, and for folks like us to
That's a
enjoy
problem.
that, it was unfortunate. But it was cool because, you know, we got to sort of hone in on the other non-Hollywood things. But yeah, so this year we were kind of back to normal, ? There wasn't as much going on outside of the con as there was the couple years prior to that.
What kind of stuff do you mean?
Just
like,
in like the surrounding downtown area, and a lot of the hotels and stuff would
Gotcha.
do kind of like special pop-up stuff, like sneak peeks of new TV shows. And
yeah, there were a few, but it didn't feel quite as expansive as it did a couple years ago. Yeah, they had a Ferris wheel.
It looked so janky. It looked like
it was very cute.
it
They
was
had an
like
announcer
county
person.
fair Ferris wheel
Yeah,
with like
you down a funnel cake and risk your life
yeah.
after the fact.
And the only thing that like made it like Comic-Con specific was that there were like you know
Superheroes.
Avengers characters on each little
Yeah,
seat.
Which is adorable, you know.
Sure.
Gotta have something for the kids, you know. But yeah, it was a large crowd, a lot of people. I don't have the exact numbers of how many people were there, but I mean, it's
So
always
many.
like to capacity, you know. But yeah, it was fun. I heard it was a super spreader event, lots of COVID happening, but I somehow escaped, which is great.
Well, what happened on the cosplay front? Were there some good ones that you guys observed?
Yes, there were. I was on the we both were like kind of you know, betting to see like which character would have the most appearances, and I was pretty convinced it was going to be Deadpool because
yeah,
it's the times.
And
There were a lot of Deadpools, but I honestly think I saw the most Harley Quinns of anything else.
But that being said, I only saw one, but that's because I'm gay, I think, and I wasn't
true. You're not
really
looking
paying
for
attention.
it in nature.
I enjoy a guy in spandex.
They were
more
everywhere.
What about
than-
bikini-clad Leia? Did we see? That
I did not see
contingent
one
is
Leia.
usually
Yeah. Well, no, I did see
Not
Leia, but
bikini-
she
not
wasn't
bikini Leia.
clad. No, just
Yeah, I saw traditional Leia, like
yeah, white robes.
white robe Leia. I saw Endor Leia, a couple.
Mhm.
okay.
I saw a couple of Padmes.
One of my like con favorites I didn't see. It doesn't mean that they weren't there, but you know, the really fabulously like
Oh, the
gay...
pink Darth Maul.
Yes.
Is that the one?
I
Yes.
love Darth. Fabulous Darth. I don't know. I can't remember.
I
what
didn't
they
see
call
them this
themselves,
year.
but- oh yeah, so great.
I had a
what
friend who I didn't see them at the con, but his wife was in like a Barbie version of Captain America.
Oh,
Okay.
And so I guess
does that
that
even
was like
mean?
it was like all pink.
oh, got it.
So it was like Barbie-tized Captain, I guess it would have maybe been Captain Carter. But yeah, she found
Hi,
a
I'm
bunch
Captain
of
Carter
other found a bunch of other pink Avengers. And
Oh,
so
fun.
they did the like surround shot of
Oh,
all
cool.
of them in their pink Avengers stuff. It was pretty cool.
What was I thinking? The Deadpool people that I did see, there was one that was like in a full like Gangnam like giant mech suit. It was like mecha Deadpool.
Mhm.
I thought was kind of funny. Lots of different variants.
Mm-hmm.
Not just I think actually I only saw one like I'm just Deadpool. Hi, everybody else was some sort of a variant, which was I appreciated.
Lots of
Well, yeah.
Wolverines too, walking around like
Oh, sure.
tons of Wolverine and Deadpool friends
and
together.
both lend themselves to quite a bit of, well, as you just said, variant-wise, flexibility and creativity.
Mhm.
Yes. And we came a day late. We did not go to the first day on Thursday, which we saw all the videos, and it was amazing, apparently. The reason why we didn't go is because we were seeing Deadpool and Wolverine.
Which, as of recording this, I have not seen it yet.
Which is
so,
insane!
So don't
it's-
say anything
It's
to
been
him.
how I have avoided really anything is pretty.
Wow, that's-
I
remarkable.
am seriously blown away
miracle.
by that. Because
I've
even
been doing my
Ryan
damnedest.
Reynolds has been posting, like, major spoilers.
Oh, I muted
Mhm.
him on Twitter. I muted
Oh,
Hugh
good
call.
Jackman
Good
and
call.
did a bunch of keyword freezing as well. So
Probably smart. I've never done that before. That's a really smart
yeah,
idea.
because as much as I try, I get most of my headlines from Twitter or X. So like I'm walking into a viper's nest every time I
Right.
open it. So so I found it's actually been quite effective. But
Oh, great.
because I haven't. I'm trying to think if I've seen any images or.
Was there anything that you like accidentally may have seen?
There were a couple small things that I think I
All
already
the
had
small
things that I had guessed would happen.
Sure.
Okay,
but
great.
not nothing I was
So it was
upset
like,
to know.
yeah, sure. It was like
Yeah.
more or less expected.
Yes.
Great, that's good.
Um.
But yeah, so that first night, the people who were lucky enough to get into Hall H, and I'm telling you, so I did some research because I'm just like, one of these days it would be so cool to get into Hall H, you know. So for those of you that don't know, you know, the Comic-Con is like one giant room and then a bunch of smaller rooms where you go and see panels and things. And then there's one, like the biggest panel of them all is always in Hall H. It's where Marvel does their announcements, you know, and a lot of the different, you know, movie studios and
how many did we looked it up? There 60,000.
It's just 6,000.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Just 6,000?
6,000, I think, is the capacity. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, you might be able to do like standing room too in there, but yeah. So it's pretty limited when you think about the fact that there like are quite literally, I think, like tens of thousands of people at this event trying to get into that room.
Right.
And so these people, like, no joke, I've seen people on TikTok posting videos of themselves like days in advance standing in line.
So
to get
just
into
real
that
quick,
place.
Hall H can accommodate 48,884 people.
I wish you weren't a liar.
Yeah. So
I looked it up
So-
too. I swear to God, that's so weird.
yeah, this is on the San Diego Convention Center website. So
Well, that's
well, this is really
48,000.
but even still.
Yeah, we still couldn't get in.
Now I'm curious too if it's also. I mean, I'm sure if it's 48,000, it's got to be way more than 6. But it depends on the configuration and where the stage is, and you know how much backstage.
Right. But I mean,
area they
even
have
that,
or
like
whatever,
you're
but-
looking at like at least 40,000 people in that
Yeah,
room.
you would think.
Wow.
But most of you probably already know already that they had this insane, amazing panel with the entire cast. I mean, more or less at least all the principals were there for the movie Deadpool and Wolverine. And then they're all like, "What?" And it was a big surprise. They're all like, "Why don't we all watch the movie together?" And so
Wow.
they all sat there and watched the movie with the cast. And then the cast came back on stage after it was over and, like, you know, had a very short talk back. And then they're like, and another surprise, there's fireworks outside with a big drone show. Oh my God. And and they also won the Guinness Book of World Records for largest drone show.
It
ever.
looked like it.
Yeah.
It sure.
Yeah, it
looked
was
like
massive. It was wild.
I think I'm not sure if it was for I assume it's for how many drones were in the show, not for like
Yeah.
how long it was, I think.
yeah,
No,
probably.
it was very impressive looking, and it kind of gave a preview of what was to be happening in Hall H,
Right.
particularly with the Fantastic Four. And
Yes.
Mhm.
We had Galactus pop up there.
we
for
got
a
our
little
first
bit.
listen to Michael Giacchino's score for that, which
So
I don't know
good.
if you've listened to it yet, but
Not much.
Well, there's not much out there. It was just whatever
It's just
accompanied
that was on the
drone
yeah.
show. But
Oh, well, I guess that I did hear part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
chef's kiss.
Oh,
on
yeah.
that.
I am not worried about that in the least.
No,
Well-
that guy
Good stuff.
gets it. That guy gets it.
Well, that sounds very exciting, and I was
We missed
obviously
it. We
living
mi-
vicariously through your struggles to get into.
Yeah. Basically anything really cool that happened the entire weekend, we were not there for.
It's because like
Right.
if like truly you and this is I was gonna say it's not a complaint, but it's kind of a complaint.
Sounds like a
Um,
complaint.
I'm gonna file a complaint on YouTube. So here we go. It's hard to plan. Like they even like I trying to get information about Hall H and and like how to do it. Like if you really want to do it, like it's convoluted at best.
Well, and like best case scenario, you get chosen the day before
Right. So
to get a pass to come into the hall at 7:30 a.m. But then you have to be in the hall all day. Like
right.
you can't do anything
cannot
else.
escape.
Star Wars Celebration used to be that way too. I remember
Really?
I slept on on the concrete floor in Orlando in 2017 to get into the Last Jedi panel.
I mean, to some degree, it's kind of fun because then you get in there and everybody's all delirious and like you're like
Sure.
more excited. But I don't know. It also kind of sets them up. It's like it sets a very like intense precedent because then you're like these people have been waiting for 3 fucking days.
Yeah.
You better give them a damn good show, otherwise they're gonna tear this place.
and you have to
apart.
think the people that got in are people that have done this
A trillion
many
times.
Like
Yeah.
they don't even put out instructions because these people already know.
They just
you know,
know,
so-
right? Exactly. And what's the point of even telling new people of how to
Right.
do it because
They're
we're
not
just
going to get in.
right.
So
And I guess at the end of the day, I mean, now that we're saying this out loud, I'm almost thinking to myself that they maybe on purpose make it convoluted because they don't want it to get any more crazy than it already is.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know?
And to be honest, like if we would have showed up maybe an hour before we did, we
probably
would have gotten in.
Yeah, we were pretty close, and it sucks because we got into freaking what do you call it? Traffic on the way there. There was, I think, like, an
Yeah,
accident
there
or
were
two.
some wrecks, so we
and we
couldn't-
were a wreck. Oh God!
Yeah,
and not
so
to mention,
we
I
were-
was also a little slow getting up in the morning.
That's
But,
so
you know,
unlike you. That's so
yeah,
unlike
very
you
strange.
to be
Of
on
course,
your
I
own
blamed it all on
time
Alyssa,
schedule.
though.
Of
Damn,
course.
Alyssa. If you weren't such a lesbian, we would have gotten every time.
That's
Um,
always what it is.
It's
Yeah.
always what it is.
Well,
But,
shall we talk about what happened in the panel you weren't in?
Which
Sure.
one? We're literally all of them.
Well, the main one, the Marvel
Marvel
Studios one.
I
is
will
what
say
we're-
that we did get into one panel. Wait, how many panels did we actually see? It was just the one.
Just 2.
Was 2? What was the other one? Because we saw Candy Milo, our friend,
Uh-huh.
our
Yes.
voiceover friend.
Very cool.
She's like the voice of like Grandma and like Tweety Bird and
Dexter.
Dexter from Dexter's
Mhm.
Laboratory. And then did we do another one?
I don't know. All the years blend together. I don't think we did actually,
Oh my God! I think
because we
Wow.
committed to try to get into Hall
we
H.
really
on
did. Well, we also
the last
committed to
day.
trying to get into another Marvel thing, and
Yes, the Kevin Feige one.
it
We
was-
didn't get
it
into
was-
that one either.
kind of hilarious because I was like, oh shoot, I think we're actually getting a pretty good place in line. But again, like pretty much every other con, or sorry, this is if it's like your first time going to a con, what you probably don't realize is that at all of these panels, they don't make anybody get out of their seat like after a panel is over. Like if you want to stay there, you can
Oh,
stay.
interesting.
So you can literally
Yeah, they don't clear the rooms between panels.
So if you want to like if that is going to be your seat, you can own it for the rest of the day.
Huh.
So any panel after the first panel of the day, like it just depends on how many people leave. So
Jeez.
if you're going to get in. So we're like, "Oh man, that's a pretty good spot in line. We might get in for this like Kevin Feige Marvel whatever the hell." It wasn't even like the main event. It was like they were announcing some other things. But also hilariously enough, the line that I thought was super short actually went all the way around the corner and then through the other door. I
Yeah,
was
so we were like, oh
"Ah,
no,
mother-
this is not happening.
we waited
This
there
is
for an
not
hour
happening.
for nothing. Yeah. It was a lot of it. So you have to kind of get over it and know that if you're trying to get into things, you might be waiting waiting for nothing. So it's good to come with friends because then you can save places in line and then go to see other things, come back. La da da.
We did really luck out though. On our first day, we got like all of the merch and all of the stuff that we wanted.
Nice. And some surprises too. We got to meet.
We got to meet Alyssa Wong, who's an artist for the Star Wars High Republic stuff, and she did Dr. Aphra. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and she
we got
signed
this,
it
and
for
she signed
us.
it. We got a little sign and a stamp.
Sign and a stamp.
Very, very cool.
You know what's wild is that, and we didn't notice until it was happening, but and apparently the other guy was there, but we missed him. His name is Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel. Daniel Older was the.
It's Daniel and Alyssa. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, the writer and the artist were our same names, so we were like, whoa.
We could have signed it and nobody would have known.
How does it feel that both of them have accomplished more than you could ever dream?
Pretty bad, honestly.
Dream.
I was just curious what that would feel like.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great, but
I also wanted to get a they had like a limited edition.
They've never been on the musical Cats.
No,
I bet you're
neither
right.
have I.
I bet you're right.
You're right. What if she had though? Oh my god,
that would be pretty epic.
That would be pretty epic.
There's another artist that mainly works for Distillery Comics.
Oh, uh-huh.
And she's
was this the booby one?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I got
so many boobies.
Yeah, so she
and they
she has a comic called Soma, and they did like a limited,
which is French for boobies.
Last year it was Batwang. This year it was Tula Lote's Booby Girls. So Daniel and I are slowly working our way to like most perverted Comic-Con
I think he will beat you.
He'll beat me.
For those of you that don't remember my last year's steal that I found, it was the what the guy I bought it from lovingly called Batwang.
I think that's self-evident what you're talking about.
Yeah. And Daniel still hasn't looked at it, so I guess he's not really a homosexual.
You're right. But it was expensive, and it's still sealed and it's plastic, and I was just like,
know, but the whole point is that you wanted to see Batwang. So why have you not looked at it?
I've already seen like the digital version
in
of it.
The flesh.
Well, I mean, I wish it was in the flesh, but I mean,
no, I mean with the comic book, anyways.
In the paper, you mean?
In the paper flesh.
Mm-hmm. The paper flesh. Ew.
Not like that.
This is like the what is it? The Chronomicon. Wait, what is it called? It's like the Book of Death. The book of it's like made out of actual human flesh. The pages.
Oh yeah. What is that called?
Isn't it like it's the thing that's in all the Evil Dead films and
I'll look it up.
You know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
I'm not familiar with pagan.
Why not?
Pagan rituals. Is that just it's a gay thing? Apparently,
it's a gay thing.
Yeah, right. They're so evil.
So let's talk Hall H.
Yeah, we were sitting in line for 5 hours.
Daniel, you were really close.
We were so fucking close. Oh man.
Necronomicon.
Oh, not the
Necronomicon.
Well, he was close.
Ex Mortis. That's actually impressive, Daniel. Yeah. I thought you were just trying to say the word Comic-Con, and I was like,
again, I know
or Omicron,
idiot?
I know my satanic rituals, guys.
Holocron.
Necronomicon.
Yeah.
Necronomicon. Oh my god, that's such a great idea. Patent pending, trademark.
All right, so
Comic
Marvel Studios panel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We waited in line for 5 hours, didn't get in, but then we watched it on Twitter. We were just kept on, swiping, and hilariously, the first thing we saw was a freaking picture of a choir of people. And
we'll tell that story when we get to that moment.
It's that is the first.
That
moment.
Is the moment.
That is the moment.
That's what they led the panel off with.
They led it with that.
It began with
I thought that came. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're right. The
The
for
Deadpool
Deadpool,
Wolverine choir.
I thought you were
Mhm.
referring to
Oh no!
what
Yes,
happens
they
in
came.
The end
Those,
part.
those
Yes.
they
Yes.
came back.
It
My
was the
mistake.
same people. They had a costume
Yes.
change.
They did, yes. So,
Yes.
and I was like, the first thing I said when I saw the picture, I'm like, oh my god, wouldn't that be hilarious if it was like one of our friends? It wasn't just one of our friends. It was like
It was
what,
many.
like 6?
Yeah, we knew 6 people.
We
in
knew
that
6
thing.
people in there. 6 of our friends.
And unfortunately, they didn't mean it maliciously at all. But they, after the
No.
fact, were like, "Oh, we totally could have gotten you backstage," and we were just like,
Yeah, we waited for 5 hours for nothing.
Do we think they actually could have?
Yeah.
Allegedly, because I think that they said that they did get some of their loved
they,
ones, and
yeah, some people did, yeah.
apparently we're not loved ones.
Well,
Well,
no.
they didn't know we were
I could've
there.
told
So.
Well, no, and I actually, to be fair, it was just one of them that said that. So I don't know if maybe they had special privileges and that the others didn't. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but needless to
No,
say, it
you're
was a
not.
comedy of errors, and we were like, it was just like another, like, you stabbed the knife in the stomach, not making it in, but then it was twisted in, like, seppuku.
Well, and
but-
I told you this at the time. How would you have known they
Right.
were?
No, there's literally
Doing-
How
no
would they have
way.
known?
Man.
Yeah.
There's no way that anyone involved could have known.
It's funny because we had all of us had posted stuff on Instagram, and it's not like the other like comedy of errors is that while we were there, because there's so many. This is something you should also be aware of if you're coming to Comic-Con for the first time. There's so many people
There's
there that it
no
overloads.
service.
Yeah, the
None.
cell towers
I
are
believe
just like,
that.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, and
you-
obviously the Wi-Fi is not strong enough to support
40 gajillion
100,000 people.
Yeah. So be prepared to not potentially be able to get a hold of your friends. So we were just like sitting there completely unbeknownst. But
Damn.
thankfully, like towards the end of the con, when the Hall H was finally, or the Marvel thing was happening, like a lot of people started to leave. So I was like, now I can actually check Twitter to see what's happening. So yeah, so the choir came on stage. They did their really cute, just like a prayer song, and they had all the Deadpool variants come out and dance, which is super duper cute.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was very fun. Then they went away, and then they very quickly. It was nice that they were like, very quickly we're like, we are talking about 3 movies, and that's it. So it was going to be a very streamlined.
Yeah.
But truly, it kind of blows me away that like it's only an hour. It's an hour, and then
Yeah.
and that's not a lot of time. It goes by so fast, especially when you're if you've been waiting there for 3 days to see it.
Right.
And it's an hour, and then it's over. But just talking about 3 movies alone is hard to squeeze into just an hour. But the first
And it
one they
wasn't just 3, as it
did
turns out.
a cute little teaser at the end.
So we first got a look at, or an extended look at Captain America,
Yes.
Brave New World.
Which is the first. That's the first title that did they go in chronological order? Is that right? Like the Captain America is the first one that we're gonna actually see in theaters out of the 3 that they.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. So Harrison Ford came out. We know he's playing Thunderbolt Ross. We've talked about that
Yes.
extensively
Slash.
on this podcast. Slash Red Hulk.
Yeah. He did a lovely demonstration of how that works.
We had gotten a trailer, a new trailer, not long before Comic-Con. That, or a trailer rather, not a new trailer. That looks very political, thrillery. They've billed this as being in the realm of Captain America: Winter Soldier, which is beloved by a very large segment of Marvel fandom for its if not real worldliness, it's more grounded and
right. They did
a
make that a
human
point.
forward approach to storytelling. Very Mission Impossible, James Bond like story. We
Which
got
is great.
Yeah, I love that one. And Giancarlo Esposito, we knew he was in the movie, but we weren't sure who he would be playing.
There's a
But-
lot of speculation going on out there, and everybody was wrong. At least, I mean, the people
Yeah.
that I had like.
Yeah,
looked up and-
I feel like the main things that people thought were not true at all.
Mm-mm.
So he will, in fact, be playing Seth Volker, who is known as Sidewinder, and he's the leader of the
Yes.
Serpent Society.
Yeah, scary.
So kind of your secondary villain, and he's always
But
always a
not
treat to watch.
secondary in my heart.
No, certainly not. And he knows that.
He does.
He's so good.
He is so good.
But yeah, Harrison Ford was kind of the headliner of this story, and we know that over the course of this film, he and Captain America are going to inevitably come to blows.
They're gonna blow each other.
Well, but I've been excited about getting a Sam Wilson Captain America movie.
Yeah,
Really since Endgame.
Yeah.
I liked their series a lot. Falcon Winter Soldier,
Winter
but I would have
Soldier,
skipped straight to a movie. I wanted a
Yeah.
movie of,
That's fair. I mean, it
Sam.
didn't like it. There is quite a lot in this film that new characters that were like not announced. They were
Introduced.
Introduced. Thank you.
Yeah,
in
we've got
that show.
Isaiah. We've got
Yeah.
Isaiah Washington.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
assumedly they'll give you like I would hope a little background. When we get into. I mean, it might be like
It'll be like a sentence or two.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that might be
But
all
they
you
don't have
really
the time.
need.
So
But yeah, I think there might be some things that you might be like, oh man, I wish I had watched that show. If you see this
Alyssa, Daniel, Dino, talking nerd stuff, come along. Inside the Tauntaun podcast, please like and subscribe.